Hello and welcome to my knit stitch tutorial. So chances are if you are watching this video you are a new knitter, so welcome. Hopefully you have learned how to cast on by now. Maybe you had a knitting friend help you out, or I also have a video on how to cast on. But here is the first stitch that everyone learns, and you can make quite a few different things with just this stitch. So it's very exciting, knit stitch. So if you watched my cast on video, it's actually a knitted cast on. So you will find that this is quite easy after you've learned that cast on. So you have your live stitches in your left hand on your left needle, and your ball of yarn to the right, and your empty needle is always on your right hand. So whenever you're knitting, if you get kind of lost and you're picking up your piece and you're kind of confused how to start when you're new, it happens. You might try to start this way and be like, what am I doing? Just remember, all of your stitches, live stitches, will be on your left hand, okay? And then you move them onto the right. So again, similar to the cast on, you take your empty right needle and you put it through this loop this way. Now be careful, I'm saying do not do it this way. Do not go through the back loop, not this. That's actually a purl. You can learn how to do that later. For the knit stitch, you are going forward through the front of the loop. And then with your right hand with the live yarn, wrap around your right needle, pull through the loop, and now you see you kind of have, this is the old stitch, and this is the new stitch. So it's kind of scary in the beginning, but you pull that old stitch off. And just like in the cast on, hold some sort of tension with your right hand and try to maintain that throughout your piece. If you'll find when you're new, there might be some really tight parts to your piece, some really loose parts, and that all has to do with the tension you hold in your right hand, okay? So again, through the front loop, around the right needle, through that first loop, you kind of have two, drop it off, okay? It's a little bit of a leap of faith there. Just gonna keep going a few times. So something that might come up if you're a new knitter is you may find that all of a sudden you have more stitches than you did when you began, and you might wonder why. Something that can happen is if you go around and pull through but you don't drop this off, you could potentially knit that again. We don't want to do that. We want to drop that old stitch off, okay? So these are just some of the things to look out for when you're new. And trust me, it's like riding a bike. Once you figure out what you're doing, it's quite easy and intuitive. But don't be too hard on yourself if you lose stitches or gain some in the beginning. Okay, so that last one, letting go of that last loop. Now I'm at the end and all of the stitches are now on my right hand. And remember in the beginning I said we always go to the left. So switch over and do the exact same thing. Now, this, what I just did, counts as one row. So now we're going on to the second row. Some patterns will ask that you mark down how many rows you've completed. So that's something to potentially mark as you're going along. And please just watch this video in slow motion. If it seems overwhelming at all, just find a fellow knitter and talk to them about it, because We've all been new, but once you get the hang of it, you'll never have to think about it again. So that's it, the knit stitch. I hope you enjoy, and don't forget to breathe, and it's never a bad thing to start over. We've all had to do it. So, happy knitting.